All right, starting and maybe finishing tonight's Henry video, because the bulk of what we've got to do, we've been doing stuff with tires, but the bulk of what we've got to do is measure the face up here so I know the depth and size and location for a transmission cooler. Obviously I don't need a power steering cooler because there's no power steering. The other thing is I'm not sure that these fans are going to be enough. I don't know who sized them, so I want to kind of mark that all out and see if I can get something a little bigger in here. So it really comes down to just measuring. So nothing terribly exciting. Maybe I'll kick the camera back on after a little while and show where we're at on the measure, but that's kind of what the Henry's going to be. We're getting a lot closer to taking her over to my shop. Probably, yeah, there's not a lot left we're going to have to do. We will have to get the seats installed, verify where wiring and stuff is, and then have it so that I can pull them pretty easy, because, you know, they will be in my way, but I need to know where they are because they're power, and I need to know where I can run, because I'm hoping to still do a wiring channel down the one side. We'll see, because obviously I don't have a sill to work with, so I can't hide wires down a sill. And if it comes down to it, I can always do the flat plastic runs that GM uses. I have a couple of those from some old cars. They're not my favorite option, but at least it would protect the wires, because there's not a lot going back here, but you know, we want to do that. And then I got to figure out his Ricky Racer radio stuff and get all that sorted out. You know how kids are these days, they want their jumbo tunes. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And then since I'm not putting it on a lift and I have to do a little wiring from beneath, I think we're going to use the extra tall stands and take it over and set it on that. And that should work pretty good, because this will be so tiny in that stall where a Suburban is now. But it'll give me plenty of room. I can have my table set out in front of it. Wiring kit's right there. Going to have to kind of sort through that and figure out what we want. And then the grommet location, of course, was selected before this panel was put in there. So I've got to share with that welt. It'll be okay. We'll make that work. We did, I don't remember how long ago it was, but we did at one point, well, before it was painted, come up with a location. You can see I've got a welded in stud right there, and one behind it for the fuse box. That's that hole right there. So the fuse box does have a spot to mount. We figured that out a long time ago. And I'm going to have to figure out where I'm mounting everything for the Dakota dash. Honestly, I'm probably going to do a giant Velcro sticker there, because I can't screw through that firewall there, because that's right there. So no screws going through that. So, but I mean, it's just a big plastic box. I think one of those big, 3" by 4" stickers would work great. And our Summit order didn't come today, so kind of limits what we're going to get done on that. So we're just trying to fill our time, keep ourselves busy. You know how it is right now, shipping, sometimes it's one day and sometimes it's 10 weeks. The plate for that still hasn't shipped, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of measuring. Okay, we've kind of marked that position. We've taken a few measurements, and I'm getting ready to yank the radiator. We did measure this cavity over here, so I've got notes on that. And the original plan for the training lines is getting changed, I think. I think we're going to take advantage of, I don't think I can show. There's a gap back here. Try not to throw up on a roller coaster. There's a gap back there, and we could do some hard lines. Come around over here. Come around up over the frame, and then kind of come in and then go along the oil pan and go back, and that would be pretty slick. So we're going to look into that. All right, we're taking the pictures that I'll pop into Vizio to use to check fan sizes by having, and I put the marker at the same angle as the pulley there, so I can see where, you know, because it does come in at an angle, where I would have to be. I've taken some high square down pictures of this when the fans were on it and with them off. So as long as you got something that you know the length of, it's easy enough to scale it up in the drawing. Then I can use those pictures, get a drawing, and then go to SPAL, pick a couple fans, and see if I can get something. Because these little, I think these are either 10.5s or 11s. I mean, you know, even if I was right in here, I mean, look at how much more there is. I'm absolutely confident I can get some nice 12-inch fans on here and really increase the cooling. So I just, you know, 600 plus horsepower and a little bit of engine bay. Yeah, I would, anything I can do to help the cooling, we definitely want to. And then I generally stagger the fans. Normally, you get some hot spots, particularly at the top where the fluid's coming in. So you really just want to kind of spread your cooling. Ideally, obviously, you'd have a shroud on here, and that's just not going to work out. We just don't have the room for that. So this is what I'm working on here. I've got some of the dimensions I need, and then we will see what we can do. I think the fans that we put in the Corvette are probably going to work out pretty nice. Let's see, anything else? Okay, now that that's out, you can see the area I'm talking, because there's a nice gap right here. So we could actually get a little bracket here, have some hard lines come around the radiator, come in here. Oh, I guess you want to see my hand. Come in like that. And then because of the fact that I'm going to have the tranny cooler down here and you wouldn't see them, we will go ahead and just do nipples on there with a short length of hose to the hard lines and save all the hassle of dealing with some right angle -6s and some big beefy hose. If you're not going to see it, what's the point in taking on that expense and hassle when it works exactly the same? So that's kind of where we're at right there. I don't know that a lot else that's worth filming is going to get done, so I think I will close tonight with that. And in this one, I'm going to try as an editing exercise to embed one of the pictures I took. Not for any use to anybody, but just to see if I can get that edited in there and maybe even write on it or something. So, all right, that's going to be this week's Henry J video. Okay, in typical fashion on these things, shooting a little extra video. This is the box for one of the fans for the Corvette. Now it's a 13-inch high-performance fan. It's too big. We cut it out to kind of see. And we just kind of started looking on the back. And I'll look on other ones on Summit and look at actual dimensions from them. But just looking at some of the high-performance curved pull fans that draw a lot of current, because that means they're actually going to move a little air. And, you know, looking at the length and width, I don't really care about the depth of the motor. Now, using this low-profile 2-incher, which is, you know, like 15 amps, so I don't know who picked this, but it wasn't me. This is not going to flow enough air for this car. But the important part is to see the way this ramp is done. Also notice SPAL does a flat on each side and then the diameter. So given those dimensions and some cardboard engineering, so, you know, once again, some more cardboard aided design. Now, I do normally like to stagger the fans up and down, but I don't think I'm going to get that option. But those will actually fit if the taper is less than 1.5 inches, because the gap from here to here is 1.5 inches. Now, the taper of those fans is 1 inch at this point. So, I think we're going to be able to make something work. Is it ideal? No. It would definitely cool this car down, though, I think. It's going to be a lot better than some of our other options. The other thing we noticed since we've never had a radiator cap, is, we're going to have to really think about what we're doing there. So we'll have to monkey with that. So these may get altered a little bit to push the radiator side to side or in and out. We're not sure yet. But I think we've got a direction on the fans. So that's going to have to be something else I look into. So hopefully that's the actual end of the video.